Hey, YouTube, welcome back to How To Do's and Don'ts. And I'm going to tell you how to get a better value for your car whenever you go to try to sell it and trade the thing in. My personal experience and all with Driveway, the car sales and repurchasing program, in my personal opinion, was horrific. To me, it was just a bait and switch. And this is basically what happened. Initially, when I spoke to them, the car that I still had a loan on and everything was going to sell it to them. They told me they'd pay me $18,000 for this car. Acted like, sure, no problem. Everything's fine. You just need to basically do this list of things of what we have. And it was along the lines of going in, taking pictures of the car in certain areas, all the way around it, proving the mileage, so on and so forth, as to be expected to prove the condition, how many miles is on the vehicle, VIN number, so on and so forth. All right. Well, once a lot of this stuff was already done and completed, they acted like they hadn't received it. And then the next thing you know, they said they did have it received, but the person who needed to review it hasn't reviewed it yet, and it takes a while. And waited another week for that to happen or so. And then I called them back, kind of got the same scenario, but everything's in line. No problems. Don't worry about it. And I started getting a little concerned, with the time frame. And they basically mentioned, if I remember correctly, you had up to 10,000 miles too from whenever you initially submit your information of your mileage on your odometer, that you can still drive the car and the same offer is still supposed to stand. All right. Well, I believe it ended up being about a month's time before I finally had everything getting ready to be finalized and approved for the so-called purchasing of my car, to where I wouldn't have to worry about the loan or anything else in this, situation. Well, what happened was, in the end, they completely changed up everything on me. They basically told me, oh, well, the market has changed. They pulled the whole market thing about how the market's changed. So they didn't want to pay me what we discussed initially, even though the week prior they said it wasn't going to be any problem whatsoever. Everything was still the same. Nothing had changed. Don't worry about it. And I even mentioned and asked about that stuff as far as the market change and whatever else. They made it sound like that wasn't going to matter. That wasn't going to be a problem and all. Complete lies. When it came down to it, they only wanted to give me $12,000 compared to 18 of what we initially discussed. So my personal opinion, don't waste your freaking time. Go somewhere else. And from what I can tell, especially with this being online, you'll probably have a lot of the same other scenarios with any other company that's online, with their time frames and their waiting list, because they're covering so many areas and so many thousands of people that you're on the back burner. They don't care about you. And here's what I believe that they're hoping to try to do, and keep this in mind. They're going to tell you they're going to purchase and buy your vehicle. And then in the end, they're going to do just like they did on me, the bait and switch. They have you thinking you're going to have all this money coming in. Your finances are going to be so much different than what they are now, and they're hoping they can prey on you because you're going to expect to be getting rid of your vehicle, probably having took on more debt than you should have, even though you don't have that money, that transaction hasn't happened yet. They're basically banking on you, banking on money that you don't have yet. So don't ever make that mistake when it comes to these type of deals. Always make sure your deal is closed first before you change any of your financial situations. If not, they're going to try to use it against you and to prey on you. So keep that in mind. Don't ever bank on that type of situation and money unless you already have it in there. So my personal advice and with my experience is, go local. Find somewhere local, whether it's a main big car dealership or whatever else. You find you a local place, because guess what? You can get what you want or whatever you think is reasonable the same day. You're not going to wait weeks or maybe months or more, depending on however many people they keep putting you behind in, and then having to call and check on it and wondering what's going on because you hadn't received nothing, hadn't heard from them and all. So don't waste your time. Say, if you want to be able to basically know where you stand, not have the worries and the headaches of all those types of scenarios and situations, stay local, go to one of those dealerships, and don't worry about trying to do this whole online thing. They're trying to make it sound like it's so simple and so smooth and so much better, and it's not. Don't buy into it. Go somewhere local, support your local businesses, do yourself a favor, save you some headache, and probably even save you a ton of money on top of it too. Because if the market does change that much all of a sudden and you've been waiting and it swings drastically one way or the other, you know, it's not going to be good depending on which way it goes. So that's something you won't have to gamble because you know when you go in there, it's done, it's over with, it's finalized, it's finished. So that's my personal advice whenever it comes to this scenario. Now, just do it local, handle it that way. It'll be so much smoother, and you're not going to have any of these worries or concerns to deal with at that time. So yeah, keep that in mind. Try to stay away from that stuff. I hope this helps you out, gives you a better idea, scenario, probably what's going to happen, what they'll actually try to do to you, because you're not going to get the full honesty, is what I saw. It just was completely the opposite of everything, pretty much, that they told me and that they promised me. So do yourself a favor. Like I said, stay local, go somebody you know, or somewhere you can drive to and do it the same day. It's just so much better and easier to do everything, all in one shot and be done with it right there locally than versus having to go through any of those type of headaches. It's just so much smoother. Anyways, if you got any questions about my experience or what else had happened to me or anything else with that, feel free to ask me. Like, subscribe. Feel free to share my content. Now, hopefully, it's gave you a better idea of what to anticipate. And the only other piece of advice I could say for you to do is like when you're going to trade in your car and all, keep this in mind because this is what I did. I definitely got far above the blue book value, and what you need to do is bring up about the chip shortage in Taiwan. Okay, that's what I did. And the market hadn't changed that much either from what we had discussed in the morning already via a text. That's basically just as good as a verbal agreement. They send you a text, so there you go. Kind of hold them accountable with that right there. Always shoot a little bit higher initially to be able to work them down, and then the chip shortage point is this: they don't know when they'll be getting them, the shortage of it. It could end up worse than expected. It may end up better than expected. Odds are it's not going to be better, though. We had a bill recently passed to start producing more of them here within the United States, but that's going to take a while. Building facilities, so on and so forth, to get to that point to be in a better situation of what we really want. So keep that in mind, and you can remind them of that too if they bring that up. Oh, well, we're going to start manufacturing, producing it here. Yeah, we will, but that doesn't happen overnight. So don't let them fool you into believing that type stuff. So remind them that, yeah, the chip shortage, if anything, will probably get worse. I'm sure there's plenty of people that's still in line waiting, as you've seen in every industry, waiting on parts, so on and so forth. So it's hard to come by. So it's better for those dealerships and these people to go ahead and stock up because of basically what I said. It could get even worse depending on what transpires between these wars and these other countries and stopping ships from being able to bring over or get things out. So that's definitely in your favor. And to bring that up, nobody honestly truly knows. We're all hoping for the best outcome, and hopefully it will be that way. And that things do get better. I really do hope that, but you just never know. So it's better to bank on being able to think that it could go one way or the other because that's life. Could get better, could get worse. And on that note, I'm going to leave that with you. And I hope this helps you. Like I said, like, subscribe, give me that thumbs up. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment box. I'll be glad to email you. If you have any requests for specific videos, let me know. And have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one.